say what it is I'm trying to sell, but if you have any amount of intelligence, you should be able to figure it out pretty quick. So imagine you saw an ad or somebody talking about this. Maybe they're on a podcast and they're saying, so here's the thing. Everybody is lonely these days, and, well, I don't know about everybody, but a lot of people are lonely. And so if you are one of those people, like myself, I have crippling anxiety and depression and anxiety in going outside. Just even the thought of seeing other people by myself, not having somebody with me is I can't do anything. It's debilitating. And so I found this thing that has helped me with that. And I have to go to the store and I purchase food for this thing, but this thing is a companion to me. I would argue is my best friend and is always there for me, is kind, doesn't care the way that I look, doesn't care the way that I smell. Generally, maybe complains a little bit if I haven't bathed in a couple of months. I usually try not to go that long. But this thing is always there for me and always cares about me. So excited when I show up from work and I get home and there I am and so happy and jumps up and wants to go on walks with me. All right, okay, you got an idea of what I'm talking about? Now, you're not supposed to say. Don't say, Jackie. Now we can spin this another way, and that sounds kind of nice. You're like, oh, hey, yeah, maybe I'm lonely, and I'd like a companion, and I'd like something, whatever that thing is. Say in the comments if you figured it out. Whoa, look at you, Mr. Genius. But you could spin it another way. You could go, so I really like picking up poop. Poop is my favorite thing in the world. I love poop. And I'm looking for something that will generate poop for me to pick up. I want to go and just be able to pick up poop and go on walks and pick up poop. I really enjoy the feeling, the soggy, warm feeling of freshly deposited piles of really stinky substances. And so if I can go and scoop that up with a bag and feel that soft, squishy, almost Play-Doh. It's always actually a surprise. Sometimes it's kind of Play-Doh-y. Sometimes it's like loose chili. Sometimes it's, well, when it's this bad, I usually don't pick it up because it's hard to pick up. But it's very watery occasionally, and so I just go, maybe we'll just let that one lay. But other times it's very stiff. It almost has kind of a spongy feel to it. But it always smells horrendous, and I love that. I love that about this, is I get to go on walks in parks, I get to see new areas, and I've picked up poop in so many new and exciting places, off of sidewalks, off of the street, out of grass. Sometimes you have to kind of comb it out with your fingers. It's really exciting when you have to do that. Sometimes it's on bark chips or wood chips, and that's also, sometimes you got to just get some of the wood chips in there as well with the poop. I'm talking about the same thing here. I'm talking about a dog, obviously. And depending on how you spin that, it could be seen as a good thing or seen as a negative thing. And that's kind of what the job of marketing is. It's, let's take this thing that people probably, let's be honest, weren't going to buy on their own. Like, what makes your product stand out? What makes your thing that you want to sell to people any reason to stand out? I've started doing something with the videos that I put out here, and then also the ones that I put out over on Mining Disrupt, that I picked up from real short videos, actually. One of the very few things that I see on Twitter that made me go, that's a good point. 99.9% of the stuff that I see on Twitter, maybe it's like 99.7, but it is far and away, most of the things that I see on Twitter is just trash. Absolute, just noise. Like, let's just do a little example here. Let me open a tab. Let's just do it. Let's see here. And see the kind of things that I follow, and you can see exactly what it is and who I'm following and why. All right, so here we have an ad right out the gate to go free for you and with Premium Plus. Okay, this person here that I follow is an artist. She posts little nifty things of art, so I was like, okay, and I think she's pretty left-leaning, so I don't really agree with her politics, but I like her simplistic art that she posts occasionally. Jason Lowry, I follow because of his software stuff. I've got a copy of his book, so I read that. But most of the stuff that I see here, like what am I supposed to do with this here? My experience is that 99% of people who disagree with the thesis didn't actually read the thesis, or I was like, okay, I just usually, okay, he's talking about his book again, skip. When would you think Bitcoin will reach $8 million? Who fucking cares? What is this? This is just engagement farming. That's what this is. I follow some AI art generators because, I mean, I like attractive women, whether they're real or not, and why not? Having this pop up in my feed occasionally, sure, that's neat. This guy's funny. The whole Bitcoin bugle, call mom if she doesn't answer, call again. So the thing that I'm not a huge fan about Dick Whitman is that he mixes funny stuff and absolutely clearly joke material in with something that I think is supposed to be taken seriously. Like this tweet here, I think he means it, and I think he means it in a genuine, sincere way. Call mom. If she doesn't answer, call again. Okay, well, what if your mom's dead? What if she's no longer with you? Just keep on calling and then remember, she's never going to pick up. Or what about me, who hasn't talked to his mom in 10 plus years because she's a complete fucking whack job that, I don't know. She might be Q. I have no idea. She's nuts. Truly wacky. Checkmate I follow because of his on-chain analysis, but most of this stuff, when I'm looking at it, just kind of like I just do a quick scan. I imagine you're the same thing. Elon Musk, whatever, scan, and yes, I understand I'm in for you. Feel quite satisfied now. I don't. Okay, cool. Scan. What is this? This stuff is completely fucking pointless. This doesn't do anybody any favors. Let's fucking go. Yeah, who's that for? I think most tweets like that, the one I just shared, is for other people that are in Bitcoin. It's like a circle jerk. Do you like that? You like that? Oh, I like that. Here, let me get you. And so somebody posts a tweet like that, the image. Maybe they post a well-known meme of like the girlfriend with the boyfriend and the guy's looking, ooh, doing that whole thing. And then they'll have like me and then the US dollar. And then over here, the new girl is Bitcoin. Like, whoa. And then you'll have 20 comments. People like, yeah, that's exactly right. Or, wow, so true. Just complete pointlessness. Absolutely zero value being generated from this. It's like you were in high school and somebody says, oh, did you see the new trailer for the new movie that's coming out? And people go, yeah, I saw it. Oh, it looks like it'll be another one of the movies that will be coming out. I think so too. Yeah, I agree. It'll be a movie and it'll have actors. And oh, did you see so-and-so was in it? Oh, I did. Yeah, I really liked him in that other movie that he was in last time. Oh, yeah, me too. That also was a movie that came out some years ago and was directed by another person who also has directed things. Yeah, and it would have been cool if he had directed the newer one coming out this year, but maybe this other new guy will do good too. Mm-hmm. Thanks. Thank you for that. Good stuff. All right. Here is one of these individuals saying something that I don't know who this is for. I know I'm not on it yet. I'm doing my thoughts. I know. Thank you, Jackie. It's kind of like we don't have the setup for Jackie to switch things over, so I have to switch things over, and I told Jackie, hey, let me know if I'm not switched over, because last week I ranted for about 20 minutes before I actually realized that I wasn't on me. It was just a blank screen. So that was real good. So the audio was there. Audio sounded great. Well, it sounded like me. Who is this for? Maybe you can find this short, Evan Carmichael Shorts, on YouTube. And I want to see what the comments are saying. I'm wondering if they're making fun of him. I hope so. Or it's right here, Evan Carmichael. Or if they're agreeing. First off, I cannot stand this Tom Bailu guy. Let me see if I can find an image of his wife real quick, because this absolutely Tom Bailu wife. Talk about an absolute fucking wackadoo. Lisa Bailu. There we go. Lisa Bailu. Wow. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this hair. Look at all of this. I don't even know what to say. The 8 ways to empower other women. Yeah, Lisa Bailu. Celebrate her achievements. Talk her up, not down. Is that... Thank you for explaining what the word fucking up means for all your retarded followers. Compliment her. Stand up for her. But no, not down there? Why did... Oh, maybe because you would already... Well, we don't need to double down on the down. Okay. Show up for her. Why isn't this one capitalized? Don't judge her. Remind her to dream big. Don't judge her? No. No, you absolutely should judge other people. Your wife should be judging you. Hey, honey, that hat looks terrible. Do not buy it. Hey, honey, those pants, not a good look. Hey, honey, it might be time to change your socks. They don't even have soles in them anymore. They're basically just little ankle, like, bracelets. Anklets? Soggy bracelet? Anklets? What is this? Comment radical confidence, and I'll DM you the link to gift her my book. Don't treat her like your competition. Remind her to dream big, not small. People like this are insufferable because of this whole look that she's got going on. Anyhow, her husband, another real piece of work, has got this guy on. And so let's play this. Look at this guy.
My day is 6 a.m. to noon, and I'm not.
His day is 6 a.m. to noon. He's not crazy. You're crazy. It gets better.
Crazy. You're crazy for thinking it takes 24 hours.
For thinking it takes 24 hours to do what?
Hours, just like some dude in a cave.
Like some dude in a cave 300 years ago. Okay, the dude 300 years ago in a cave that had 24 hours had the same fucking 24 hours you or I have. But let's watch Mr. Mastermind here break it down for us. And I like little Tom's nod here. He's just like, yeah, look, dude, you're fucking dropping the wisdom right now. Fuck yeah, I'm so glad, so honored, so blessed you're here to tell me these nuggets of insight.
Just like some dude in a cave did.
Yeah, little nod. Fuck yeah, this guy knows what's up. Let's slow that down so we can see this little nod.
Cave.
Yeah,
did.
fuck yeah, bro. Preach it. All right, continuing. Oh, I think I went too fast there. One speed. There we go.
100 years ago. My second day starts at noon and goes till 6.
Second day starts at noon. So he's already... You dummies can't even comprehend. He wakes up at 6 a.m., does a full day of work in a couple hours, maybe an hour and a half. By 9, he's having lunch. He's already midway through his day. By 10, he's finishing out his workday, and by 10:30, 11, he's in bed again already, ending day 1. Noon, waking up again. He's already slept. He's already had a whole fucking day. Next day starts at noon and goes to 6 p.m. Noon, wakes up. From 1, he's doing his morning stuff. 3 o'clock, he's having his second lunch. He's already into day 2 while you are still at work. What are you doing, you lazy bums? Okay, here comes 3:30, finishing his second day, rounding out 5, he's in bed, and then 6 p.m., he's waking up again. He's waking up again. Here we go, day 3. Here we go, day 3. Let's get it, day 3.
p.m. That's day 2. And then the next day is 6 p.m.
Boom, day
to midnight.
2. His third day, 6 p.m., whole nother thing. Here we are, 9, same as the morning. 9, doing his day, having lunch. 10, back to bed, going back to sleep. He bends time to his will. Look at this. Look at this. Right here. Look at this. Check this out. Watch what he does with his hands. This is really important. Can I zoom in? Can I zoom in? This is really important. If you can do this with your hands, you can bend time too. Ready?
Night. What I've done now is I have changed them into...
Right there. Do you see that? Check this out. Let's slow it down. Slow it down. Here we go. He's changed and manipulated time.
Changed.
Look at that. You see that?
Now as I've
He's changed
night.
and manipulated time. Check this out.
Done now as I've changed.
Oh, yeah. There we go. So if you just do this, you can change and manipulate time. Whew. So good. So good. Okay. Continuing. Change and manipulated time.
Manipulated time. I now get 21 days a week.
He gets 21 days in a week. Stack it
Stack
over
that
a
up
month.
over a month, I'm going to kick your butt.
He's going to kick you. You're done. You're done.
Stack it up over a year.
Over a year,
You're toast.
you're toast.
Stack it up over
Stack it over 5 years.
5 years. My entire life is different than it would have been otherwise. My day is...
In 5 years, he's lived 15. He's actually only 21 years old. Look at this. He's 21 years old.
But he's aged so much faster.
He looks like he's in his mid-60s with the hairline, the hair plugs, the dyed hair. He's doing that to try and regain some of his... He has changed and manipulated time, but time has changed and manipulated him. And so he's only 21 years old, but he looks like he's 65. He's living so much faster than you or I. You can't even comprehend. Cannot even comprehend. Did you find comments?
I can't find the short.
Okay.
It's so hard to find anything in this. There are hundreds of motivational shorts. That's all this guy does.
Just take shorts from things and post crap.
Yeah, and I think the whole reason why people do this is so that they can get views and then they can just make money basically off of other people's work.
Yeah. How many subscribers does this Carmichael guy have?
That's a good question. Hold on.
Does he even have videos?
He has almost 500,000 subscribers, 427,000.
And it's just
his videos
shorts?
are just looks like taken from other people.
Link me to his channel.
I did.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
But those are the shorts, the list of the shorts.
Where's the link?
It's in the document.
It's in the document. There it is. Okay. Evan Carmichael. Let's see here. What is this guy about? Evan Carmichael consumes so much content and then knows how to DJ it to inspire people. Oh, look who said that. Gary Vaynerchuk. Do you know what Gary Vaynerchuk's up to these days? Gary V Toys. He's doing this shit. Okay, where is it? VeeFriends. VeeFriends.
Bringing NFTs to life.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Trading card games, new VeeFriends. Now, just gander for a moment. Who do you think this is for? Who do you think this is for? Let's go to the shop here. Okay, fearless, lifted. What the fuck? Okay, what? Is this for children? Gifted, dedicated, outgoing, unwavering, ambitious. All right. I'm not going to click to be notified, but look at this. Who do you think this is for? Did you guess 30-something-year-old dudes? You guessed completely accurately, 100% right. Because where is their Instagram, TikTok? Okay, VeeFriends TikTok. No, I saw one recently. I was clicking on this just when I was doing this research to find where this is all going and what this is for, and I saw a bunch of people posting things, and it was a bunch of fucking dudes talking about this. Is this it? VeeFriends? Where? Okay, yeah, here we go. Boom. There it is. Look at this shit.
Never grow up?
VeeFriends. Where are the children? Oh, right here. Here's one. Here's another one. Where else? Oh, look at how it started versus how it's going. Minting VeeFriends, NFTs. Here's another one. Children. It looks like when you look at this stuff, you go, "Oh, it's toys. It's for children." Well, yeah. Yes. But no. Yep. Where's the other ones? Who is this? What is this for? Well, it's for making money. That's all it is. It's just trash to try and make a quick buck. All right, cool. This is amusing. TikTok's owner ByteDance, Small Dance, sues the U.S. government. Really? I had no idea that the TikTok's owner was a company called ByteDance. Byte, like a micro. That's amusing. Okay. Every once in a while, something happens in the realm of elections that is pretty fucking amusing. This one right here is one of those times. Over in Washington, there are a lot of Bobs on the ballot. It is the ballot of the Bobs. Bobs on the ballot. Washington AG, Attorney General, responds to 2 new gubernatorial candidates sharing his name. There are now 3 total Bob Fergusons listed in the race. There's only one Bob Ferguson, this is coming from the actual Bob who posted this tweet.
Bob Ferguson.
There is only one Bob Ferguson. I like how he has the picture and then he has the text of what it says here, actually. Let's read it. There is only one Bob Ferguson who is qualified to be governor. One who has a long and distinguished career standing up for Washingtonians. There's no doubt this last-minute filing by 2 unknown Bob Fergusons. Okay, hold on. Somebody knows those Bob Fergusons. Unknowns, that's a little mean. Is an effort to deliberately confuse Washington voters. It's nothing less than an attack on our democracy. An attack on democracy? Having people that share your name join the ballot? That's an attack on democracy? Seems like anytime somebody doesn't like something, it's an attack on democracy. Oh, this person might actually win. Yeah, I guess you could say that it is an attack in a sense that Trump is an attack on Biden's campaign run, and Biden is an attack on Trump's campaign run. Sure, an RFK is an attack on both. Yeah, I guess in that sense, it's an attack, but an attack on democracy? How? Oh, because you're undermining the voting process by having different people. Like, what happens if 2 people that happen to have the same name are running for this position, which is happening here? It's 3 people with the same name. That's not an attack on democracy. Does that mean that anytime somebody shares your name, you can't, like with the SAG? This is why Emma Stone apparently goes by Emma and not Emily, because to be in the Screen Actors Guild, from what I understand, you cannot share a name with somebody else, which is why people come up with different screen names. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's for awards and they don't want to go, hey, maybe it happened where somebody won an award and they said it's for Jim Jones, and Jim Jones got up and like, not that Jim Jones, the other one. Bob Ferguson won the award for Best Actress. Like, yeah, I won. I didn't even know. I wasn't even nominated. Great. And he walks up and comes from outside. I won. No, other one. Oh, whoops. Okay. Nothing less than an attack on democracy. Washington voters are smart and will see through this highly deceiving and potentially illegal effort to mislead them. Okay, hold on. Hey, so you undermined the entire tweet here by saying that Washington voters are smart enough to see through this highly deceiving and potentially illegal, give me a break, effort to mislead them. If they're so smart to see through this, then why are you posting this? How is it an attack on democracy? Doesn't make any sense, Bob. Get your shit together. It's hilarious, though. Right-wing conservative admits to orchestrating candidates of 2 other Bob Fergusons.
I love that it's a Bob, too. That's the best part.
Where do you find these Bobs? Why are there so many Bob Fergusons?
Their campaign manager is mentioned in the article, if you scroll up.
The other 2 Bob Fergusons are also listed as Democrats, only adding to the confusion. Of course. Brilliant. What else we got here? Orson Wells, did poverty help my creativity? No. I like Orson Wells a lot. He's got one of the best speaking voices, period. Fantastic. But this right here is interesting because it brings to mind the whole UBI, the Universal Basic Income thing. It depends on how poor you are. I do think that hardship creates, I wouldn't say creativity. To some degree, you might have to be creative to get out of your hardship, but there is a point where if you're in so much hardship that it's hard to focus on anything other than survival. Let's use an extreme example. If you're lost in the woods, have no water, have no food, don't know where you are, hence being lost. That's what that word means. I'm doing the Lisa Bailu thing. Lost, having no idea where you are, totally confused about your location, total lack of GPS, unknown location. Yeah, there you go, Del. That's what fucking lost means. If you are in that situation, then some amount of resources, some amount of a lifeline would be beneficial, certainly. But once you're at home, like people talk about, oh, once you make a certain amount of money, whatever, $80,000 a year, then everything else on top of that is just kind of gravy. It doesn't really matter at a certain point. I don't know. I don't make $80,000 a year, and I'm not sure. But I see people that make at least that much, or seem to, given where they live and what they drive and the things that they buy and the lifestyle that they are embodying in some way. And are they better off than I am? I don't know. I'm not sure. The way that I measure the way that I measure value and whether or not I'm doing well is time. And if I have more time to do the things that I want to do, to hang out with the people that I want to hang out with, to work on the projects that I want to work on, then that is a good thing to me. That's how I measure my success. And if I'm losing time to do those things that I want to do, and I have less time to do those things, then something is going wrong. Because if you're having to go to work, go to a place to make money, to just afford this lifestyle, how is that better? You might say, well, it seems like a lot of homeless people certainly figured this out. They've got all the time in the world on their hands. And I would actually agree to some degree that they have something figured out. I don't know exactly what it is, but they're doing something.
It always depends on the person. Some people can go through hardships and their life just falls apart because they don't do anything about it. I mean, there's so many factors to take into account, but I'm with you. I believe that hardship can make for a more interesting person.
Yes.
You can see that in many comedians.
Yeah.
That are in the public space.
Yeah, I think if you've lived a life, this is kind of the hero's journey. This story has been told a countless times throughout history. If you're living a life of luxury and you're not facing any adversity, then how can you grow as a person? And if you're not growing as a person, then that's not very interesting. Like, think of the extreme case where an unborn child to a queen or a princess. The princess or queen is going to have absolutely everything taken care of her. Let's say the queen. Okay, queen. Princess probably shouldn't be having children, or maybe shouldn't. I guess if a princess is married, then she's no longer a princess. She's something else. I guess she might be a queen at that point, or depends on who she's married off to. But I think princesses are usually married off to, well, not always kings.
Like dukes, maybe.
Yeah, she might become a duchess
people.
or something. So because I have no idea how monarchies work, clearly, let's just go with queen. Queen is married to the king, happy, kingdom, blah, blah, blah. Queen is going to have every want and whim taken care of. Not even close. Anything that she wants. Let's say one of the queens at the height of the English Empire. And her child has even less to worry about. Has zero concerns. Food is coming in. I'm talking about an unborn child, baby in the womb. No concerns. Truly, zero. It isn't even, maybe, at least for the early months of pregnancy, even conscious to be aware of concern. At some point, yes, consciousness kind of enters the picture. And I'm of the opinion that consciousness is kind of like a fractal. It just sort of starts at a little speck. And so it's always there. from the point of conception, but then you can't really tell what it is at that point, and you don't even know that you're pregnant at a certain point, but then it just grows from there. I don't think it's a switch that is either off or on, and once baby's born, oh, conscious, or at 3 years old, conscious. I don't think it works like that. So anyways, baby isn't really aware of concerns or worries, and let's say it's a totally peaceful environment, zero concerns. How is that baby going to grow? How is that baby ever going to be anything interesting? Well, baby won't be interesting, won't be growing until baby comes out and starts entering the world and experiencing some amount of hardship. And even a new prince or a new princess born to this kingdom is going to experience more hardship just by existing in that environment than by existing in the womb. Now, this child might bump his knee when he's walking around, or scrape his hands when he's crawling around on the floor. Those are adversities. Ideally, that child will face a lot more adversity when he's growing up, so that he knows what it's actually like to be a person. But then there's obviously too much adversity, like being continuously shot at or hunted on an active basis. That's no good either.
Did you say haunted?
I may have said haunted, but I meant to say hunted. There are two very well-known podcasters on YouTube that these individuals, I think, maybe better than anyone, embody, how do I say this? So there are people that I can like certain things that they do, and I can like the way that they go about. It's not even the way that they go about things. It's more like, okay, let's say, for example, let me just tell you, and Andrew Huberman. There have been a couple of podcasts, I couldn't even tell you what at this point, where I've thought, oh, okay, that seems like some interesting information. I don't know how much it's been useful information, but it's been interesting at the very least. And I don't even know if it's accurate information. And this that I'm about to play kind of calls into question everything he's ever said. Because if you can't do something as basic as this, it makes you go, well, what can you get right? I understand people make mistakes, and sometimes when you're in the middle of things, you mess things up. Like, I've done it myself. I've gotten the date wrong. You know, like, oh, how do you get the date wrong? Yeah, okay. But if your job is to get the date right, like that is your job, is to announce the day of the month, you don't really have any excuse. Like, if your job is to make a short video, a YouTube short that is 10 seconds long and says, hello, today is whatever the day is, Saturday, November 13th. I don't even know if that's what it's going to be. 2025. That'd be funny if that was actually the case. Saturday, 25. 13th being a Saturday. 2025. Anyhow, if that was my job, to make a 10-second video saying that, I don't really have an excuse to get it wrong. 13th of November is a Thursday? Is that right? It's a Thursday, okay. Not a Saturday. So if I said that in a year plus from now, and I got that wrong, people would have every right and should grill me mercilessly for getting that wrong. Well, if you're a scientist who talks about brains and numbers and blah, 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 you really don't have an excuse to get this wrong.
To make this very simple, all we need to know is that for women 30 years old or younger, because the probability of getting pregnant on any one attempt to conceive is 20%, well then, if that doesn't occur the first time, then she should simply repeat that at least 5 and probably 6 times before deciding to go to an OBGYN and conclude that there's something going on either with the egg, or of course it could be with the sperm, okay? Because 20 times 5 is 100, so we're talking about cumulative percent. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and the 6 months.
That's not
there would take
how math works.
120%, which is a different thing altogether. But
So just in case you're not understanding here, he's saying he thinks that if you flip a coin, each time you flip it, if you're trying to get heads, it's a 50% chance that first time. And then it's a 100% chance to get heads. And then it's a 150% to get chance of heads. And then it's a 200% chance to get heads. The first clue that he's talking complete fucking nonsense is that he says 120%. That should have been the first thing out of his mouth that he goes, wait a second, that isn't possible. That doesn't happen on chances. You can have a 120, 150 increase in something, but not when it's a chance, not when you're talking about a chance here. If a woman has a 20% chance to get pregnant, it doesn't go to 40% chance and then 50, and then she's guaranteed 120% chance to get pregnant on month 6 or whatever it is that he says. That's insane. That's so wrong. Clearly wrong. And people are blasting him for this, and rightly so. But Andrew Huberman and Lex Friedman are two individuals that there are certain things that they've said, like I started this whole little bit on, that I've enjoyed, but then I just don't like them as people. There's something about both of those individuals that bothers me, and I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if they are AI generations. I don't even know if they exist as actual people. I truly don't. Like, for all I know, the Rogan appearances that Lex Friedman has had could have been some AI test. But I don't know. I'm pretty sure that Rogan's real because I've seen him in so many different settings. But it would not surprise me in the least if Lex is a robot or something. He's clearly autistic. At the very least, he's that. So that alone is enough for me to go, maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's just severe autism that makes me go, oh, that's why he's a little bit off and just seems a little bit strange. I've worked with people with autism, and until you realize that's what's going on, you go, like, something's just, what am I missing something? Am I weird around this person? Like, what's going on? Like, he doesn't look me in the eyes. He's got really good calves. He just kind of bouncing a little bit, and he just kind of will talk extra long on certain things, and it doesn't even seem to matter as though if I'm there at all. He just kind of says things. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, and you find out, he's like, yeah, well, ever since people realized I had autism, it's like, oh, that explains it. There it is.
For me, Andrew Huberman, I don't think is on the spectrum. But
no, I don't think so.
He seems to have a false humility about him.
Yeah. I don't know where, or rather why he got so popular on YouTube, but it seems as though he's got this idea, much like Peter McCormick, of, oh, I'm going to be the Joe Rogan of science. And Peter McCormick seems to have the mindset of, I'm going to be the Joe Rogan of Bitcoin. I truly don't understand. I truly do not understand what value Peter McCormick brings to the space of Bitcoin. Aside from having really good production, arguably some of the best, if not the best production when it comes to the podcast game. Okay, cool. So good production. Great. He goes to all these different places, has Airbnbs either given to him or sponsored for him or pays out of his own pocket to interview people and knock out all these interviews. Why? I know I've said it, this is going to be the third time, but I truly do not fucking understand why. With Rogan has said many times, and I think I have seen more episodes of JRE than I have of the What Bitcoin Did. I'm going to say it's about 1,000 episodes of JRE, probably. Maybe, let's say 500. Let's just be conservative, 500. Because there was a time where I worked at Whole Foods and I chopped vegetables in back for the produce department, and I would just listen to Joe Rogan like 2 episodes every shift, and I'd just listen at 2x speed and just chopping strawberries, chopping cantaloupe, chopping this, making guacamole, whatever. And I'd just listen to Joe Rogan over and over, just have earbuds and listening to that. So I've listened to quite a few episodes of that, and I've heard him say no small number of times that the reason that he started his podcast, Joe Rogan, is because he was curious and he wanted to talk to interesting people that he found interesting. Okay, that I can wrap my head around. Curious guy, likes to get into things. He's really good at pool. He played a shit ton of Quake, so much so that he installed a T1 line to have a faster internet connection. These are all things that I've heard. But the main reason that he started his podcast is because he liked talking to interesting people. Graham Hancock was one of the first people that he had on his podcast. I think he said one of his first real guests, as opposed to just his buddies. And then from there, he's talked to all sorts of extremely famous people because he wants to have these conversations, and he's got the most popular podcast on the planet now. Okay, I understand that. But why the fuck is Peter McCormack doing what he's doing? He's got a football team, but besides being a fan of football, is he really good? Is he a really good manager? I don't know. I have no idea. I almost never hear him talk about football other than, oh, our team won or we did well. But I don't hear him talking about players ever. Maybe I'm not listening to enough of his podcasts. Joe Rogan will continually, in podcasts that aren't even related to MMA, bring up various fights. And he has a near photographic memory for being able to tell you what was happening in what round of this fight versus this person and the way this person choked that person out. But no, the ref stepped. Like, it's ridiculous how well he remembers these things from fights that happened 15 years ago that he wasn't even commentating on, that he watched on some replay that he purchased. It's insane. But I don't hear Peter McCormack doing that ever. All I hear him doing is like, well, how's that work? What's the point of that? Oh, I don't understand this. Like, he understands Bitcoin on a rudimentary level, but I truly, fourth time now, don't understand what fucking value he's adding to the space that other people aren't covering already. He doesn't have any special guests. He doesn't have any access to people that aren't being talked to on other podcasts. I don't get it. I really don't fucking get it. There's 6 times. All right. Do you understand? I don't understand it. This shit. Fucking, this stuff is littered on Bitcoin Twitter. This stuff, it's so fucking stupid. It is absolutely stupid. This one's from Said Youngelman. I don't have anything against him. I like his Bitcoin metrics. I've used some of the tweets there. It's fine. It's just another one of these fucking podcasts where people talk to the same people and have the same conversations again and again and again. Like, I don't know how many times I've heard Jeff Booth talk about the marginal cost of blah, 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 and technology, and everybody agrees. Like, people start him on his thing, and he's like a broken record. He just says the same fucking things every single time, which, if that's your brand and that's what you do, great. But boy, I wish some of these hosts would ask other questions. Anything else. Fucking anything. What did you do today? How do you feel about picking up dog's poop? Have you ever skipped rocks? I don't care. Any fucking thing other than, hey, tell us about your thesis that you've already told everybody else in the podcasting Bitcoin space 1,000 fucking times. Let's hear it again for old time's sake. Play the favorites, Jeff. Oh, here comes the classic. Who is this for? Because there isn't any no coiners that are going to see this and be like, oh my God, holy shit, this is it. This is the meme that orange pilled me. So let me tell you this story. Here's my, you want to hear my orange pilling story? So there I was. I'm browsing Twitter. I don't know anything about Bitcoin at this point. Nothing. I don't know. I've heard about it. All right. I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. I'm scrolling. I'm looking at sweet babes doing their dances. I'm looking at hunters doing their thing. I'm looking at different NASCAR photos. And I come across this fucking tweet of a golf ball. And I go, whoa, what's that about? I've hit some balls. I'm a ball guy. What's this about? And then I read, and this fucking prophet, this genius, this mastermind of macroeconomic theory, which was a word I didn't even know until I went down the fucking proverbial rabbit hole, bro. He says that the club of demand, get that, so inspired, the club of demand hitting the Bitcoin price ball. Okay, so that's the title of this meme. He's got it broken down, right? Okay. Initially, all right, does it move? I don't think it moves here. This is a screen cap, so this isn't even his. He capped somebody else's thing. That's cool. That's neat. That's okay. So this one's from Riggs. Okay. I don't even know what's going on here, but I do understand this meme. Initially, the ball, it doesn't move, right? It hits. Have you ever seen it happen in slow motion? Golf, the club hitting the ball. Nothing happens right away, right? Okay. But then as that hit is absorbed by the price, this is demand hitting the price, and it absorbs all of that energy, right? The shock has already been set into motion on an irreversible outcome. Then the price flies at high velocity. When I read that, I was just, holy shit. and I sold everything that I owned, and I bought as much Bitcoin as I could. Like I was like, doomed. That's it. Golf balls hitting price. Holy shit. That was my red pill moment. I was Neo in the Matrix. I didn't even realize how locked in I was until I saw that fucking golf ball struck. And those words, man, it just, there it was. That was the moment. And then I just listened to 14,000 hours of what Bitcoin did just on repeat. And I learned everything. It was like, after that, I just stepped out of my house and said, I'm sunning my balls. And I know Bitcoin. Like, Neo, I know Kung Fu. Like, that was it. That was my moment. No, that's never fucking happened. Ever. That hasn't happened for anyone ever. All this is for other Bitcoiners to be like, oh, this makes sense. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I like that one. That's it. That's who it's for. Utterly pointless. Worthless. This person would have had more value from the time that it took them to post this. I say them, but him. I'm pretty sure Cedric is a dude. I don't think he identifies as something else. Yeah, look, here's the comments. Look at these brilliant comments. I like this. The question is, how many frames per second are we watching the video? Great analogy. The little chef's kiss emoji. Shh. What stage of the cycle are we in? Face. BTC to the moon. Look at these comments are so good. This one really goes. There it is. Oh, so good. So good. More replies. More of this, please. Yes. Next up, Lafferty, Daniel, and Gilmore. Happy. Here it is. That bam. Oh, so good. These people, they're fucking masterminds. Brilliant. Was I on me showing all this? God damn it. Look at all this. Here it is. I like this. Question is, how many frames per second? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. You get the point. This is worthless. Go sit outside, shut the fuck up for 5 minutes, sit in the sun, meditate, and don't post this. And you'll be adding more value to the earth by just not saying this. This is worse than useless. This is the best thing that's come out of this tweet. Me talking about this right now, saying all of this. That's the best thing that has come out of this tweet. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. All right, this one is infuriating, but also funny.
When I look at Bitcoin as a historian, I don't like it because this is a money built on distrust. The central idea of Bitcoin is basically electronic gold, that we don't trust the banks, the governments, so we don't want to give them the ability to create as much money as they like.
Yeah.
So we create this Bitcoin. It's a currency of distrust. I do think that the future belongs to electronic money, but what we've seen over the last centuries is that it's actually a good idea to give banks and governments the ability to create more and more money.
How? Why? It'd be nice if you could elaborate on that point. How is that a good thing? Please tell me. Is it because you benefit from that? You and your WEF butt fucking buddies? Is that why it's a good thing? Because you benefit from it?
In order to build more trust within society.
In order to build more trust within society.
What about that?
It's important for governments to be able to make money.
Oh, to build more trust in society. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that across the board, people have less trust in their governments now than ever before. But sure, let's just keep on running with that argument.
So I'm not sure what money would look like in 20 years or 30 years, but I hope it will be a currency of greater trust and not a currency of distrust.
No, that's not how it works. That's not how we trust other people because they say that we should trust them. No. One of the downsides, and this is actually the biggest reason that I don't like pants, is that it's built on a foundation of anti-anal rape. And because we live in a society where anal rape should be happening on a regular basis, pants coming in and saying, no, don't stick things up my booty hole. That's why I don't like pants. If Bitcoin is pants, and pants are Bitcoin, then they come in to stop the government from right up your pooper. And I like it when surprise objects are inserted anally. And that's my favorite thing of going throughout a day, which is why I am anti-pants. Pants, bad. Pants, bad. No pants here. In my household, we say, no pants here, because you never know what might get stuck up your butt. And that's a good thing. The best is when the FBI shows up, or the IRS, or just a random politician, a council member. If it's government and I trust that they have my best interests at heart and they get to do whatever they want with my butthole, then that's a good thing. And pants say you can't do that. And that's why pants are no bad pants. Because then it's harder for government to come and fuck me up the ass.
So well articulated. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Oh, look at this one. Probably the most California summarizing headline that could ever exist. It's perfect. Blue state Dems, isn't that okay? Turn on governor as homeless council can't account for $20 billion in spending.
What?
Newsom officials on defense as Dem lawmaker asks where $20 billion went. How do you miss $20 billion? It's hard for me to even fathom missing $1 million, $1 million. Hey, let's cut that into tenth. $100,000. I guess I could understand missing $10,000 in a government sense. Like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't miss $100,000 or $10,000. I couldn't even miss $10. I know where it all goes. I can check. But $20 billion?
It doesn't even make sense in any accounting level. I've done accounting for multiple businesses, and every single time I've done accounting, everything has to equal zero.
Yeah.
If not, you have to reconcile. You have to go back and find where the money went.
Yeah, but I guess we're supposed to trust this, according to Yuval Harari, that, it's fine. We need to trust that it's all just fine, even though they can't explain it. It's certainly for good things. Definitely. Look at, you can make the excuse that was fine and okay if California was a pristine land of zero homeless. Like, maybe there was one dude on a street corner and people like, whoa, where'd that guy come from? That's so weird. That's surprising. I thought they were all gone. If they could say, hey, look, we don't know where the $20 billion went exactly, but we do know that there are no more homeless. If that was the case, I imagine a lot of people would go, you know what? It would be nice to know where the 20 billion went, but it went somewhere that somehow resulted in zero homeless, except this one guy who's actually being hauled away right now as I speak. Okay, no homeless in the entire state of California. Not one. Not an RV anywhere. No trash. No graffiti. It's all gone. All of it. There's no poop in San Francisco. There's no poop on the sidewalks. There's no poop in planners. It's just boom. And the only thing that we have to point to, that we can attribute this to, is a missing $20 billion. So if we could do that again, throw $20 billion into a hole, and then somehow, magically, homeless people just gone, RVs, tents, encampments, trash heaps, all of it, just no more. I imagine most of California would go, you can misplace $20 billion anytime you damn well please, if that's what happens. Next time a bunch of homeless come up, like, hey, fine. I imagine every other state would be going, hey, where's the hole that we can throw the $20 billion into that just magically goes away and gets rid of the homeless? That's a great hole to throw money into. I don't really care where it goes. I don't really care how it happens. If that hole somehow gets rid of the homeless people and just makes them go away, and we have more productivity in the state, everybody's working, there's jobs, there's no unemployment, zero unemployment. And I don't mean because the numbers are being fudged. I mean, everybody actually has a job. There's more tradesmen. The price of hiring an electrician is reduced by half. The price of hiring a plumber reduced by half. The price of a home to purchase a brand new quality built home is reduced by 70%. All of it just somehow just the world is better because you threw $20 billion into the mystery hole. Hey, that's fine. But that's not what happened. That is not what happened. What's actually happened is $20 billion is missing. Taxpayers' money is somewhere gone. And you might go, well, they didn't actually raise $20 billion in taxes. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But taxpayers are still paying for this somehow. That $20 billion came from somewhere. It came from somewhere. Clearly. And then it went somewhere. And there's more homeless than ever in California. There's more poop than ever in California. It's not better. Forget fixed. It's worse. It's worse than ever before. So that's the problem there. Okay. I can't hear this, but so you're going to have to tell me what he says here. All right. Let me listen to it. Switch over.
But so to leave, so in other words, keeping it as is with Roe versus Wade having been overturned and leaving it up to the states to determine if and when a woman can have an abortion?
No, I wouldn't leave it to the states.
You wouldn't, right?
No, I would.
You would say completely. It's up to the woman.
My belief is we should leave it to the woman. We shouldn't have government involved,
even if it's full term.
Even if it's full term.
Okay, and I think.
But
okay. So I saw somebody saying that there was noise in the area and he couldn't hear all that well. There's no noise. This is a studio. There's zero noise. So if he couldn't hear the question very well, then I don't know how to explain that. But a lot of people were hearing this one way, and I heard it a completely different way. It seemed like the people that were upset by RFK's response here were like, oh my God, he's okay with full-term abortion? Baby's 9 months along, could be born any minute, and we're just going to cut mom open, scoop baby out, and just throw it into the trash can. That's how people heard this. A lot of people. What I heard is what he actually said here. I heard his actual words. He said, leave it up to the woman, no state involvement. Well, hang on a second. Hey there, Bitcoiners. Hey there, Bitcoiners. I thought you were all for self-sovereignty, personal responsibility. I thought you were a big up. Hey, good. That's good, right? Right? I thought you were up on that. I thought you didn't want state involvement, which is exactly what he's saying here. I think the problem is that if you're going to say it's up to the individual, the woman, and full-term abortion is totally fine, then you don't also get to say that murder is illegal. That's the problem. That's where the problem is. So if you want to remove state from the equation of murdering children, then you also need to move the state from the equation of murdering adults, teenagers, elderly. State says murder is decriminalized. Hands are off. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to say, hey, you can murder a child that is 10 months along. Head is halfway out of the birth canal. Put the baby down, scoop out the corpse, throw baby into the garbage. Okay, you don't get to do that and then turn around and say, but you can't kill the doctor, and you can't shoot the mom in the face, and you can't go over here. Like, how do you have both? How do you have both? And I think that's where people were having the issue. Like, wait, hang on a second. How is one okay, but the other's not? So I think if you want to do this right, you just decriminalize murder. You remove the state from the murder equation entirely. Or you go the other way and you go, murder is illegal. And if it's illegal for a newborn, then it's illegal for a 1-year-old, and it's illegal for a 10, a 15, a 30, a 60-year-old. Then it is also illegal for a 6-month in existence, not born yet, like 6 months pregnant. It's also illegal there. Because where is the line? Where's the line in the sand? And I'm not going to try and turn this into a full thing about this whole topic because it's been beaten to death a million fucking times, and I don't have the answer here. All I'm saying is that there's more to this than just, oh, RFK, I'm not playing it. RFK is good on killing babies. I don't think that's the case. I think he maybe misspoke, but I think what his main point here is that he wants to leave it to the woman. I don't know that that's a great idea. I don't think you should be leaving much of anything to women besides, I'm joking here. This isn't necessarily labeled a comedy podcast, but if you're hearing what I say here as honest, like this is Dell's actual take, you need to get your fucking head checked. Like I don't want to have to say that this is comedy, so maybe I should just label it as comedy. But like my main inspiration for doing this is Cumtown and Tim Dillon. Like that's number 1 and 2 inspiration. I don't know which is which. It's probably Tim first and then Cumtown second, simply because Tim's a one-man show aside from his producer, but he's the only face that you have on there. He's got on there aside from when he has a guest. But yeah, I don't think that RFK is necessarily saying that abortion is good. I think what he's saying here is that he just wants state involvement removed. He has commonly said that the state is too involved in things, and I think he's just maybe put his foot in his mouth here by taking it a little bit further than he might have otherwise intended. And he has come back around and he edited it somehow. I don't remember what his updated thing was. Do you have that here?
Yeah, I linked it right below.
The update after backlash?
Yeah.
Okay. So he says here, RFK walks back support for full-term abortions following pressure from his own campaign. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, his running mate was not a fan.
Okay. Independent presidential candidate RFK has changed his stance on abortion once again, saying he supports abortion up until a certain point rather than at full term. Once the baby is viable outside the womb, it should have rights and deserves society's protection. Well, yeah, I don't think anybody is... Well, I don't know. Okay. So there's 2 different ways to read this. Once a baby is viable outside the womb, there may be some... This should be... He maybe could have said this better. I think what he means here is not that the baby is actually outside of the womb and born. I think he's saying baby's still in the womb, but could live with maybe some assistance if baby were to be born.
Which is a gray area.
Yeah, exactly. My question there is, when is that exactly? What day, what time, what second is that actually? When does that happen? Because some people are like, oh, it's X months, it's X weeks. Okay, when exactly? When exactly? And as technology improves and medical technology gets better, then that time frame gets shorter and shorter. And we could have a point where in the not very distant future, a woman conceives a child and 2 weeks later, you could have some sort of device that goes in, takes that child out and grows in some sort of a device, Death Stranding style little container thing. I'm not saying that that's a great idea. I don't think that's the best idea. I don't know. I'm just saying that might be technologically possible at some point in the future. So is that baby, if that's possible, if that baby can live at 1 week post-conception, let's say even 15 seconds post-conception because of this new crazy nano siphoning whatever wacky do technology, then doesn't that prove that the baby should never be killed and that at any point it's murder? And it's just a lack of technology that we have that's preventing that from happening? What say you then? Jackie's highlighted another section here for me. During an interview with podcaster Sage Steele, a former ESPN host, Kennedy was asked what the limit should be for women to have an abortion. Should there be a limit, or are you saying all the way up to the full term a woman has a right to have an abortion? Steele asked. Kennedy answered that he didn't think anyone would want to do that at 8 months of pregnancy. But, well, okay, he hasn't met some people, but okay. But abortion should be out of the hands of the government and in the hands of women. Even if it's full term, Kennedy said in response to a follow-up question. I don't think it's ever okay, he added, when Steele said that would allow late-term abortions. Kennedy said, I think we have to at least leave it to the woman rather than the state. I was playing the link there. This is funny. So apparently these silly boys, posted this picture, and then the school sued them, they kicked the boys out because they thought they were doing blackface, but the boys knew exactly what they were doing. They had just put on this Origins Out of Trouble, which is hilarious that that's the name of it. 10-minute mask to rescue skin problems. So they put on a skin mask thing to help beautify their skin, and then they were paid $1 million for being kicked out and being hassled, which is fucking brilliant. I hope that they actually knew what they were doing and weren't just like, oh, let's see what happens, and they're like, oh shit, and then sued. But that kind of memery trickery is good stuff.
Is that green?
It's
color?
Kind of greenish. Yeah, it's kind of like a clay green.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like black. And anybody thinking that this was actually them doing blackface is ridiculous, because they missed the lips. This guy kind of got it, sort of, maybe. But I thought, like, classical blackface, if there is such a thing, would have the giant, is it red or white? I think it's red. Just like this huge swath in the middle.
Well, I think there's
Justin Trudeau knows how to do it.
I think
He's
there's
a master.
a gap between the lips.
Yeah, Trudeau is really good. So this here is actually a tweet. It's one of those exceedingly rare tweets that made me go, oh, that actually does make a lot of sense. Like I said earlier on in this, it's exceptionally rare. So this guy said, one thing poker taught me, and the guy being Bitcoin undisclosed. I see. Okay, got it. Bitcoin undisclosed. One thing Bitcoin taught me is that sample size is very important. This has helped me hodl Bitcoin tremendously. A short-term dip doesn't faze me. Even an 80% drop doesn't faze me. I have a 9-year sample to draw on. I am up massively. I wouldn't have been if short-term variance bothered me. I've seen 3 massive crashes and their recoveries. Poker prepared me for this. I knew when I was getting into Bitcoin that it was going to be highly volatile because of it being so early on the adoption curve. No way to win this game unless you hodl when the going gets tough. We are still early on the adoption curve, but we are not done pumping, and we'll see a lot of short-run variance. Prepare yourself. Embrace it. Ride the wave of variance towards great wealth. If you do this, you will be among the few. Now, I haven't played a whole lot of poker, but I am at least aware of poker enough to get what he's talking about here. What I am more experienced with is Magic the Gathering. And you might have the best deck in the meta by a long shot, but that does not mean the deck always wins. Let us go over here to the popular metagame, and let's see what the metagame for Modern is right now. Rakdos Scam is the top of the metagame with 11.8% of the meta in the last 30 days. Let's go to the last 365 days. Yawgmoth is doing really well. Let's do something a little bit more realistic, like 90 days. Okay, Domain Zoo is good. Rakdos Scam is still 7.6. I'm not sure what happened to push Rakdos Scam up. But that does not mean that Rakdos Scam wins all the time. Clearly, Domain Zoo, whatever that, I don't know what that is. I know what Scam is doing pretty well too. Just behind, exactly 1% behind. Yawgmoth also doing pretty good. Amulet Titan, these are all solid. These are all good showings. It's once we get down to the second row, Living In, Temur Powers, these all aren't going to win as much if you play them. But they're still fine. And half of the meta analysis before you go to a tournament is knowing what your local area is going to bring to the table. So if you know that Billy typically plays this or doesn't even have the cards to build X, then that's one that you don't even have to worry about. Same thing is true in poker. Just because you fold a hand or you miss a hand or you misplay doesn't mean that you're bad at poker. If the best poker players in the world just went, oh, well, I lost that hand. That's it. This poker's not the game for me. I'm out. No, I'm out of here. Well, then they wouldn't win their bracelets that they win at the World Poker Series. If somebody thought that Rakdos Scam was the best, but then lost a game, and then quit Magic, sold all their cards, and was like, it's time to go and play a different game, then they would never reach a tournament win. But clearly, after thousands upon thousands of games, probably tens of thousands of games across, actually, I don't know if Modern is in Arena, but it's certainly on Magic Online, MTGO. There's probably tens of thousands of games that have been played. There might be tens of thousands of games played in a day on MTGO. Out of all of those games, Rakdos Scam has climbed to be the top of the meta in the last 30 days. Well, the same thing is true in poker. Different players know how things are going. The meta doesn't change in that. The meta, it just is what it is. It's the same exact cards. But you cannot conclude from a loss or even a string of losses that this is just the wrong game for you, or these are the wrong cards, or that you should get out of poker entirely and go try roulette or craps. That's not what that means. It just means that you need to reevaluate things, zoom out. If you go, oh, I've won $1 million over my career as a poker player, taking a single loss or 5 or 20 in a row and losing $10,000 or $100,000 doesn't mean that you're a bad poker player. It doesn't mean that poker is a bad game. It just means that, well, I don't know what it means. It maybe something's going on, especially if it's just a straight string of losses. You might need to reevaluate, or you might need to step away from poker for a little while. And sometimes that might be the best thing. And when I say step away, bring this back to Bitcoin, I don't mean that you sell out and go, well, I'll get in at another time. Maybe just stop paying fucking attention to the price for a little while. Just leave it alone. Just go do something else. Read a book. Watch this. What else we got here? Covered that one. Oh, real quick, Lynn Alden has got this fantastic video, and I was busting up. I was actually legitimately laughing out loud when I saw people saying that Lynn Alden had summarized something into a 30-minute video. Initially, in my defense, I didn't realize that they were saying that she had summarized her entire book. That made a lot more sense to me. I just thought it was funny that Lynn Alden summarizing anything into a 30-minute video was funny because it's so on brand for Lynn. Because she writes these massive articles and usually has a lot to say on things because there's a lot of nuance in the way she says things. But this is a fantastic video. Got to be honest here. The narration leaves a little something to be desired. Lynn Alden is a great thinker, a great macroeconomist. From the things that I've read and narrated myself, a great writer, but not the greatest narrator. So I'm not saying that she should not have narrated this. I do think that there is value in the author narrating something, but I do think that the video would have benefited from a professional narrator, somebody that has spent as much time as Lynn has and studying the things that she has on being a really good narrator. Or at least have another version where there's another narrator. I was thinking about doing it myself, but then I thought, well, I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to like steal her content and be like, oh, look at this video I made. I wouldn't have done that. I would have said, here's Lynn Alden's video. Everything belongs to her here. I'm just giving you another voice to listen to as you watch this. But I don't know that there's a good way for me to do that. So I'm just going to not. This video here from the Onion News Network came out 14 years ago, but it kind of summarizes a day in the life of Bitcoin Twitter. Let's take a watch. Oh, there we go.
Now, in a desperate attempt to fill 24 hours of programming, here's some bullshit that happened somewhere today. We've got some footage here of the bullshit, which began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon, when residents in this neighborhood were shocked to see this fairly common thing happening. An attractive witness described the event in breathless terms.
I went to my window.
So this right here, she represents in Bitcoin Twitter the people that go out and do the street interviews. They're like, oh, what do you think about Bitcoin? You've got some person that's like, well, I would take a wedding ring over Bitcoin. Uh-oh, he's going to slap my ass instead of Bitcoin? Well, I don't know. I'll take that, I guess. And then somebody else goes, oh, I'll take Bitcoin. And you just get the random person saying some nonsense, some bullshit about some crap.
And I was like, whoa, there's some bullshit happening.
That happened right over there. I'm an older man, so you can trust what I say.
Authorities in special uniforms rushed to the scene to stand around while our cameras filmed them.
This represents the tweets that you get on nearly daily basis, certainly weekly basis, of government doing something. They did something in relation to something. Crypto this, new legislation. So Cynthia Lomas posted this thing, and it happened over here, and Dennis Porter is over in the state, and it's something is happening, and people are doing stuff in government-related spheres of influence, signing papers, checking it out.
Reporter Keith Collins joins us now live from the scene of the bullshit through the use of expensive technology. Good to be with you.
This is every interview ever on all of the podcasts right here.
Again, Keith, we have a colorful graphic here that shows instances of bullshit like this are on.
And you got to bust out the graphs. Oh, you got to bust out the graphs. In Bitcoin, if you don't post a graph, you're not a Bitcoiner. You've got to post the graphs.
The rise, is that right?
Yes, although why is unclear. Some say it's because of one fucking reason. Others say it's because of some other fucking reason. I talked to this random...
This is more graphs, just a different version. Or this is the memes with a graph, graphs with a meme. Memes turned into a graph, graphs turned into a meme.
Expert on the subject who told me this thing you're about to hear him say. Right now.
This is the art. This is the art stuff. This is MadeX. This is the Octopus Ink, whatever. This is just art. The experts.
Points at a piece of paper.
I spent my entire life attending the nation's most prestigious schools to talk about bullshit like this. I'm really just...
They studied this. They studied art for years to give you the bullshit in this form. This form.
Not going to be on TV.
Now let's see if we can drag this out a little longer by showing emails written by some of our viewers. I once saw some stuff kind of like the shit you're talking about happen. I have nothing more.
This is the Bitcoin tweeters tweeting things from other people that are remotely related to Bitcoin in some, like what they're saying is somehow connected. They're saying like, I paid attention to Bitcoin that one time 5 years ago. I'm glad I didn't get in. It seems like a scam.
More to add. Another person says, I am angry that things like this.
I got big into Bitcoin one time, and then I sold out. I sure am glad I did when I did at the time, because it was up at 70 something and it's dropped down to 60. Who knows what it's going to do next? I bet it goes to zero in the next. This is Peter Zehan saying it's going to be trading at a negative.
Happen. I get mad about every bullshit.
Or actually, this one here, the government should be doing more to regulate crypto because it uses too much energy. And I had a pet whale once, and now the oceans are boiling, and now that pet whale is dead.
I see. So obviously a lot of opinions there to make this story seem somewhat meaningful.
Oh, absolutely, Glenn. This bullshit has some broader implications. Here's a list of tips on how to avoid bullshit happening to you.
Here's the end of the podcast where they're telling you what you should do. You always buy in a trusted exchange. Buy on a place like River and get from a trusted exchange. Get some KYC if you can, and make sure you take it into cold storage, and make sure you back up those seed words. These are the 3 things that you need to do.
And here's some footage of Congress.
Yes, I see that.
Well,
and then back to government did something in relation to something, and maybe it's related, maybe not. Maybe it's just people complaining about government again. That's fine.
Thank you, Keith. Let us know if there are any updates on this bullshit story from there.
There's no way there will be.
Very good. We'll check back with you in an hour anyway.
I'm just some fucking guy.
When we return, we'll look at live footage of a car chase taken from a helicopter and free associate about what's going on.
Yeah, that video right there summarizes Bitcoin Twitter pretty well. Here, we can watch this again.